G'day folks. Well, I had a couple of people ask me and private message me about oil change intervals and things like that, and basically what my good friend Brad, aka V8 Jagnut on YouTube, aka Master Mechanic, has taught me is change your oil before it gets past its normal golden yellow colour. Like when it starts to look a bit brown like this, change it. Don't just stick to an hour or hourly or mileage based interval if you're doing a lot of city traffic. We both agree that cars need hour meters on them rather than odometers as well, or in addition to odometers they need hour meters, particularly for city traffic, because you might not travel many miles in a city but your oil can look like this in a fraction of the time. The little RAV4 that this came out of, granted I've added about 1.5 litres to it before I drove it home, so there's fresh oil in this as well. The service interval is at 210,000 and the car just ticked over 210,000, so it was low on oil, and this is what you get at a service interval set by the mechanic. I don't know who the mechanic was, but the sticker on the windshield says 210 and it's bang on 210 now, just over. So that's what the original oil looks like. It's a bit hard to tell because of the colour of the cap, but it's a lot like a light honey colour. That's normal. This is a bit excessive. It's not critical, but it's excessively brown. There's a lot of carbon from blow-by going past the cylinder, past the piston rings down the cylinder, and there's also little fine particles of metal just from normal wear and tear, which isn't much. Like, there's very little wear and tear between oil changes if they're done right. If they're done wrong and you let it run out till the oil's really black, then there's virtually very minimal lubrication properties and you really start scraping metal off, and that's where your engine oil starts to look like black paint essentially. If you can pull your dipstick out and wipe it on a white rag and it looks like you're painting it with carbon black paint, that's not good. You're way past your service interval and oil change interval, and if that's the case, even the case of the RAV4, this is what came out of it. And I've spun a new filter on. I've also got another new filter here, another bottle of oil, and I'm going to run it to my mate's garage, let him play with it for a while and work out what's going on with the clutch and everything, run it back, then I'm going to dump the oil again, spin another filter onto it, refill it with more oil, and it'll be happy again. But yeah, that's part of the routine. If you're going to clean an engine out, just buy lots of filters and lots of oil and frequently change it. I should probably put more miles on it, but the thing is I don't have registration on it yet. It's completely unregistered and on a temp permit, so I can only do so much running around with it. But to answer the questions that I've been getting about oil changes and things like that, the earlier the better. The Ford Falcon or Fairmont that I've got at the moment, it's going to start to look like this if I don't get onto it soon. I have been a bit lazy with that car, but I will do it very soon. It's been a while since I changed the oil on that one. I think I dumped it about 1,000 Ks after we did the full major service with Brad, and I haven't touched it since. I don't do a lot of miles, but again, they're short runs. Doesn't get much of a chance to warm up. Not very good for an engine. So yeah, if you operate in city traffic all the time, treat your car more like it has an hour meter than a mileage meter. Your oil change intervals are going to be a lot longer than your average country car, or sorry, a lot shorter than your average country car. Country car doing nice smooth highway miles, not a problem. But idling constantly, stop-start traffic, that sort of thing, acceleration all the time, that's really hard on an engine. It really is. So yeah, if your engine's a diesel engine, it's going to be black regardless. That's the difference. It's going to have lots of carbon in it. When I got that Yanmar and the generator and all the other diesels I have, they are caked in black residue, and that's because it's diesel soot. Again, it blows past the piston rings and carbons the oil almost immediately. Like the first few drives, your oil is going to be black anyway. That's normal. So just pay attention to your operating hour meter if it's an industrial machine, or your odometer, or if you're a regular city diesel driver, just change it frequently, because you'll save a hell of a lot of money on rebuilds in the future. Diesel rebuilds are pretty expensive. Petrol engine, again, still very expensive, but diesels are worse. So anyway, as you can see, this oil's still, it's golden, but when you look at it, it's pretty bad. Like, that's borderline okay. I'd let it get to that and that's about it. go into carbon black. Like if I were to slosh this tub around and it wouldn't go away, like if that was all painted black and this was a petrol engine, I'd know it was just pretty much junk. I'd be looking at tearing the engine down and redoing it. I know a lot of people run them like that for some time, but well, you risk catastrophic failure, bearing spinning, that sort of shit. Yeah, take care of your engines regardless of what they are. An engine's an engine, and you need it to do something or get you somewhere. Without them, modern day industry and living would be pretty much impossible, because we've got engines to make power, engines to farm our land, engines to move us from one place to another, engines for fun. Well, some people take care of them, some people don't. I hope this enlightens you a little bit about taking care of them. And yeah, again, high quality filters too. I know you can get some really cheap ones from the auto suppliers, but I buy, apart from OEM, I just buy Ryco ones in Australia. I have been known to use the Repco branded ones. I think they're pretty much on par, but I always prefer Ryco. So again, I'm not making any money off it. Ryco doesn't sponsor this. I just want to promote them as a company that I've known all my life, and we've never had a problem with them. I'm pretty sure Brad swears by them as well. Everyone I know swears by Ryco, and big name stuff like, I don't know how good Valvoline is these days, but there are a few oil brands to avoid. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but yeah, try and get decent brand name oil. And no, Castrol or Shell are not decent brand name oil anymore. Like Shell, Helix and Castrol, forget about that. Get Valvoline or Penrite. I think Penrite's the best one. And what is it? It's the Repco ROSL oil is also made by Penrite. They just rebottle it and sell it for a lower price. So if you buy the red bottles of ROSL 2050 or something like that, it's the same thing. It's pretty much Penrite, so you're doing pretty well there. If I can run a heavier oil in an engine, I just buy the red bottles of ROSL and use that. It's only because the RAV4 specifies 1540 I'm running it. I could probably go a heavier grade because it's older and worn, but for now we'll leave it as it is. After the change I just did, it runs much quieter. It's really happy now. Normal 3SFE noise rather than angry 3SFE noise with that crap in it. Oh well, this was going to be a 2-minute video. Thanks for watching.